So what do you do when you don't have a sump and you have too much surface action to use any kind of sensors for an ATO? Hey everybody, Reefgrrl here, and welcome to my channel. This is my Frag tank. My Frag tank does not have a sump, and there's a lot of surface agitation as you just saw. My Frag tank does need an ATO. Let me show you a budget device that I've used on at least, well, 3 other tanks actually. This is number 4, and it has worked flawlessly. Before I show you this budget ATO device, there is one piece of information that needs to be gathered before we can start. For this auto top-off method, we need to know how much water evaporates in a 24-hour period. I've put a line on my tank at the level where I know the salinity in the tank is exactly where I want it. I keep mine at 1.025. So now I know where my starting point is. Anything that varies from this line is too high or too low. I'll come back and check in 24 hours and see where the water level is. You can see the water level has dropped in that 24-hour period. Now I need to add back the fresh RODI water to top it back up. I'm going to keep track of exactly how much I add back to get it back up to that line. And it turns out that was approximately 750 milliliters. That's roughly 25 ounces, but you'll see later that it's easier to work with milliliters. Here's what I'm using. It's called the Moissanland, and it's a plant watering system. But for this purpose, man, does it ever work well. It's a nice little unit, compact, very simple to program. I bought some black tubing so that I could minimize any algae growth. And this thing actually does come with a heck of a lot of tubing, but it had that really strong formaldehyde smell. So I didn't really want to use it for a reef tank. This can be run on either batteries, AA's, or USB power, and it comes with the cable. I had a spare phone charger, so that's what I'm using. I've had this thing for a couple of years, and it is still available on Amazon, so I'll put an affiliate link in the description. It cost under $50 US, under 60 Canadian. Let's head downstairs and get it all set up. Because I have the space, I'm using one of these 5-gallon water jugs. I've used these before and they work great. Here's my big ass funnel, and here's my bucket of RODI water. If you follow my channel, you might remember this funnel from the drain in the closet of my former fish room when I had the Red Sea tank. It's being repurposed here, and I'm so glad I have it. This thing wasn't expensive. I got it at an auto supply store, and I think the original purpose was for maybe oil changes. I should mention before I forget that I did calibrate this thing before I brought it downstairs. It pushes water at the rate of 10 milliliters per second. The unit has really flexible programming. I did the math. 6 seconds, 12 times would get me pretty close to 750 milliliters. And I could top up if needed using the manual add feature. There's the jug, 5 gallons of water roughly. Tube goes up into the Moissanland. Tube comes up, and here's my jankety first attempt to get the water into the tank. I'll show you how that works. You can do a manual add by pushing this once and then holding it, and that makes water come out. But you know, like, yeah. And yes, I am aware it's right above all the electrics, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Not safest at the moment. It's ready to go. I'm going to turn it off now because I'm not going to leave it like this until I'm 100% sure that that hose isn't going to end up spraying water all over here, and I'll come back at it tomorrow. So far so good. Maybe all I need is a couple pieces of duct tape. Yeah, duct tape. After some searching on Amazon, I found this. It looks complicated, but it actually isn't. I'm not 100% feeling secure about how the hose goes through here, travels down, and there's the end of the hose. So that's where the water drops in. And it's good because this is an area of super high flow. But because this hose was just a tiny bit, I don't know, it didn't feel secure, I taped it on. I've kind of wrapped the excess around here, and there it is going down into the pump. So I'm comfortable with it now because it really can't go anywhere. Messing around with it doesn't do anything to that hose, so if I bump it, it's not going to make it come out of there. And watching it over the past few days, I've adjusted the time to 6 seconds every 2 hours. And that has put the water level exactly where it needs to be. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's going to work for as long as I have to run this Frag tank. And it didn't cost me anything except a couple of bucks for this clip because I had all the parts already. So that was 2 weeks ago, and it's been running perfectly. Once I got over the anxiety over that hose, all was well. If you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up? And if you're interested in seeing what goes on with the big build, what the heck is going to happen next, why not subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, everybody.